We're going to move on at this point to our afternoon panel, Organizing a Bigger Communist Party, and I want to introduce the moderator, Libero de la Piano.
What we're going to have now is a panel presentation on Organizing a Bigger Communist Party USA. Following the panel, we're going to have brief comments from the floor at the floor mics to the right and the left. The speaking limit for this section is 3 minutes, and I will actually call the time from here since you'll be at these mics. I'd like to invite up forward for the panel 4 of our district organizers: Elena Mora of New York, John Bachtel of Illinois, Juan Lopez from Northern California, and Joelle Fishman from Connecticut. They will each have 7 minutes to talk about their experience in their districts on organizing a bigger communist party, and then we will go to the floor, and we have about 40 minutes of discussion following the panel. The order I have here is beginning with Elena, going to John, Juan, and then Joelle. We have a table mic. So you come up, you want to do it from the table? Yeah. All right. So we have a table mic, they'll do it there, and then I'll field questions to the 4 panelists. Or you can come up.
Good afternoon, everybody. Everybody's probably heard that old, I think Lenin said it, nothing's too good for the working class. Chandeliers. Well, it's really great to be here, and it's really a challenge to talk about the question of building the party in 7 minutes, especially when you're a New Yorker, but I'll try. We've had a really vigorous discussion in these months leading up to the convention about a lot of things, about our short-term and our long-term vision, about our role in the struggle, about what it means to be a communist. And in my experience, there are no simple answers to these questions, but there are answers. And I think we've got it mostly right. The big challenge is getting it right in life as we participate in the struggle. And that's also where this question of building the party is located. Building the party in the course of participating in building the movement against the right. So I just want to give a few examples of some of the things that we've been involved in, because you can't talk about building the party unless you talk about the struggle and the key struggles. Judith spoke a little bit about the peace work, and that for us actually, I guess luckily or unluckily, depending on your point of view, the big demonstrations and all the work leading up to and when the war started was in New York, and the party was very much a part of that from top to bottom, and it was a really important part of what we worked on these last few years. We participate publicly in the New York City Central Labor Council Immigration Committee. Our role there has been varied depending on the meeting, depending on the subject. It started with the organizing of the Freedom Ride, and it has continued. Our role has been, for example, to stress and give concrete help to the issue of building unity between the immigrant communities and labor, bringing in the importance and central fight last year to defeat Bush, connecting the issues, bringing up the question of the unity between the immigrant communities and the African American community and the issues of concern to both and the commonalities. And simply being in those meetings, I think, showing that the Communist Party, a party that was founded by immigrants, so in a lot of ways it felt quite natural and comfortable to be there, showing that the Communist Party is alive and well, that we consider the issues of immigrant workers and their communities to be of critical importance, that we always and in every situation fight for unity, and many other ways our participation, I think, there has been very important. We've made a contribution. The big weakness, and I think this relates very much to the question of how to grow the party, is activating our clubs in the struggle for immigrant rights and building unity with immigrant communities, and we have a way to go on that one. In the fight around public education funding, which Maria spoke about and others mentioned, we've been very active in this fight. Our state, as many states, has a crisis in the public education situation. It's not an evenly spread out crisis, though it's extremely sharp in the urban areas. And anybody who's been involved in any struggle relating to the state and local budgets knows that the 800-pound gorilla in the room is the pillaging of the public coffers with the tax breaks and the tax cuts and every other thing that Pataki and company have done in our state. And so one of the things that we've done in that work and in that movement is raise the issue of, speaking of advanced issues, advanced demands, taxing the rich. Eileen from Buffalo, I know, has raised it in many different venues, from public hearings to meetings of the coalition. And we raise it where it counts, with people who are in struggle. We've raised the issue of the billions that are going down the drain with the military occupation of Iraq. We talk about the necessity of supporting the teachers who are working without a contract because of our union-busting mayor. The issue of privatization of the services in the schools and the racism that is inherent in this public schools crisis, which affects overwhelmingly Black and Latino children. So those are just many of the different things that we bring into the movement, but I think, again, the issue is that we have to be in the movement to bring them up. In New York City, the lottery, the slogan is, you have to be in it to win it. And I think that is, for us, the big challenge, being in it and helping to win it. Last year, we worked very hard to be part of the mobilization to defeat Bush. Why? Somebody once asked me, what do you want to do, just help turn a red state to blue? And I said, frankly, yeah. Because, yes, we did want to turn those red states to blues. We did want to elect Kerry and defeat Bush. We were there because it was the right thing to do, because we're workers, we're mothers, we're students, because we had so much to lose if Bush was elected. But that wasn't the only thing that we did in that election. When we were traveling on those buses to Philadelphia and Ohio, when we were making phone calls at the Citizen Action and Union phone banks, when we were going door to door in the congressional campaigns in Brooklyn and in Buffalo, did we talk about what the struggle was about the limitations of the Democratic Party, about the need for deeper solutions? Of course we did. Did we talk about the class character of Bush and the right wing? Definitely. Did we talk about the need to end the war in Iraq? Absolutely. And those of us who work publicly as communists, and there's many of us, although there need to be more, we also talked about the party, about why we're in those struggles, about how we see moving to higher levels and stages of struggle. Because when you're known as a communist, believe me, those questions come up pretty often. Did we bring up socialism? I guess I'd have to say not too often, no. But our Bronx Club, for example, recently had a public forum on this subject, which was attended by 22 people, including an SEIU shop steward and the New York City lead organizer of the campaign for public education funding, among others. These are just a few thumbnail sketches, but what I'm trying to do is bring up, I think, the two sides of the situation and the problem, which is that we have to be in the struggles and we have to be in the key struggles, the struggles where the forces that can win the battle are, and that's labor, the Black and Latino and other racially oppressed communities, women and youth. We have to be in those struggles, and we have to be building the party while we're in those struggles. That's the way we have to do it. And Sam said in his keynote, it's a hard nut to crack. It is a hard nut to crack, but I think it's crackable. On the issue of being public, about being a communist, I think this is really one of the biggest problems, because, and I'm not saying everybody has to be public in every situation, but we need more people who are known as communists to an ever-widening group of people. And if I could just have 30 more seconds, I knew this was impossible. The subject of growing the party, that's the biggest challenge we face. It's not figuring out what we are doing now and what the direction is. I think we have that down. It's not about whether we're for socialism in the best way. And I'm